Would you believe that? What happened?
To begin with, the show of goodwill and for the restoration of trust. Amongst the key demands for the Generation Z is first bring out those who are having scandals. Just going back, those who are having scandals, allegations, because you are from your point there was no actual evidence, or from his point there was no actual evidence. These are allegations. We can't have people who are having allegations in these offices. Let them step down for a given time until those evidence is found. For the restoration of trust, then so that we may at least that trust may be regained. Today I was going through the papers, and even the latest news right now is that the NTSA cannot account for 1.2 billion, and yet we're crying that rejection of the finance bill is the one that is going to make us have a deficit in the budget. Yet the NTSA, the structured amount was 500 billion, that we're going to have a deficit of 500 billion there. Then the president came and...
Right, just what you can see on the screen, of course, protesters have carried coffins and placed them on the streets of Nairobi. Yes, those are quite a number of coffins there. They've been able to be brought there by protesters, and I see police officers trying to move them, and to some extent a representation of what has been happening in the past few days, whereby we've been able to see quite a number of people died as a result of this particular protest. And so when people were taking to the streets today to protest, they were seeking justice for those who have died as a result of this particular protest, and they've been able to be shot by police officers who are trying to contain the protest ever since it started 2 weeks ago. So those are coffins, of course, quite a number. I believe there are around 7 there. Okay, so let's listen into what is happening there. To you from the city of Nairobi, and of course we've been able to see coffins there. Protesters have been able to put coffins on the streets. There were about quite a number, I believe around 7, and police were trying to remove them and put them in that particular lorry that is on the screen. Of course, what you're seeing right now is an arrest attempt. The protesters and a protester rather engaging a police officer, if you can call it that, and being bungled here and there. So I believe he's been able to escape. So he's been able to escape that arrest. He lives to see another day today, not in a police cell. Of course, there tear gas trying to disperse those people that have gathered there, as they try to remove the coffins that are currently on the street. This is Moi Avenue, Nairobi. And yes, so initially when people were taking to the streets today, the message was we are seeking justice for the people that had been killed due to this particular protest, and those that died by the gun, especially after being shot by police officers. The number right now stands at 39. So it was seeking justice for them until for this particular 7 days that will be coming until the Sabasaba day, where we're expecting quite a lot of action as far as protests are concerned in the country. So this message, to some extent, gets to communicate the message that we were on the streets, people were killed. These coffins represent justice for those that died fighting for their rights here in the country in the past 1 week. That is Moi Avenue. 3 coffins right now on the streets. Some have already been put in that particular lorry. They've been all of them. They were about I believe 7. Some of them are in that white lorry there. They're not 3. There are 4 coffins on that particular streets of Moi Avenue right now, and police trying to remove them. This is an indication of just how people are, practicing their constitutional right when it comes to picketing, trying to send the message out there on exactly how they feel and their anger, of course. Yeah. What do you make of this? Let me start with you, Ken. Ken, thank you so much for joining us, by the way. So what do you make of this? What you're seeing on your screen right now is...
I think, Brian, this is so serious, and it's a communication to the president that things are getting out of hand. And the demands that the people are giving the president, I think there's very simple things that he should not allow it to go to this extent. I don't know why the president is allowing himself to take bullets on behalf of few people who decided to make individual mistakes. You get that? Someone like Mithika Linturi should not be in the system right now as it stands.
We are not mentioning names, my
No,
friends.
okay, fine, okay. But that it is in the public domain that we had our parents traumatized by fake fertilizers.
He's holding a public office.
He's holding a public office, a public officer. Get that? And when he was being grilled to hold that office, we were allowed to call his name. How special is it that now that we cannot call his name? Okay. The guy traumatized our parents with fake fertilizer, and that's the truth on the public. We do not need God to come and tell the president that this guy need to go home. Okay. He should go home. Let me dive into the issue of conversation that the president called for.
Why are you putting on sunglasses, Ken?
Thank you, my brother, for that concern. I think out of many 54 million Kenyans, including the president, he's the only person who has asked me why I'm wearing these glasses. And I want to say, to make it clear, that I'm wearing these glasses so that I can be able to see the truth in this government. It has been so sad. It is so sad that I could not see any truth in this government without glasses.
But these are sunglasses. They're going to prevent you from doing
glasses. It must be bright for you to use a sunglasses. Unless you want to see the truth, you use lenses.
Yeah.
I'm trying to identify, locate the truth in President Ruto's words.
The truth is white, and there's too much darkness.
There's too much. Okay, now let me put it to context. The president called for a dialogue with the young people, but I don't recall us being on the street asking the president that we want a dialogue, because the things we are calling for are things that do not need a sit down for him to take effect.
Okay, I'll come to you. Of course, those live pictures coming to you. It's a split screen there. You were able to see police trying to remove those coffins that is on Moi Avenue in Nairobi, here in the CBD, and also the other picture is on Waiyaki Way, whereby protesters had gathered and they've been able to be dispersed. using tear gas, I believe. And yes, sir. So that's a tear gas canister being launched there. And trying to disperse those protesters that are gathering, I believe, trying to make their way to the Central Business District, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So those are actions. Different parts of the country, you know, that's protests are being carried out, as you can see on your screen at the moment. Of course, and we'll be, you know, briefing you as we continue to cover these particular live events. Okay, back to you.
Thank you. I wanted to put out clear why there is no urgent need for young people having a sitting with the president. We've had an article before. The reports are gathering dust somewhere, we don't know, and the president is the one who should take effect on it. Now, we asked the president that we want to see the unconstitutional offices scrapped off. Get that? We asked the president that we want to see the corrupt leaders in this government sent to where they should be.
Because they
we asked the president that we want to see, these people masquerading as Statehouse as advisors, the 131 plus David Itumbi, David.
All right, Ken Babu, I'm sorry that I keep on interrupting you, but you see, it's live TV. So I want us to take a listen to what is happening in Voi, whereby the road to Nairobi-Mombasa has actually Nairobi-Mombasa highway has been barricaded, and youth there are carrying out their constitutional right when it comes to protest. Let's listen into what they're saying.
Ruto is unfit and unqualified for the president of this country. He is unfit and unqualified to be the president of this country. Amepigeni kwa kila njia.
Yes, niko tayari sana. Niko tayari. Taita Taveta County, mchipuko 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Taita Taveta County. Okay, asante sana mtazamaji, ni kwamba tuko live katika barabara kuu ya Mombasa kuelekea Nairobi, na kama unavyoona ni kwamba watu ni wengi, na hapa tunapozungumzia ni katikati ya barabara kuu ya Mombasa kuelekea Nairobi, na ni kwamba waandamanaji wengi wamekuja hapa, na pengine tuzungumze na mmoja wao aweze kutueleza maoni yake kuhusiana na maandamano.
Mimi naitwa Mutembei. Tulieni. Mimi naitwa Mutembei. Tulia. Mimi naitwa Mutembei, na sababu ya yetu kuandamana siku ya leo ni kusema kwamba Ruto na wabunge wote ambao walivoti yes waende nyumbani. Sababu ni kwamba wameonyesha kwamba wenyewe hawajali wananchi. In fact wanachukia wananchi. Sababu deal wanapiga ni za wao, kwa faidi wao wenyewe, hazimfaidi mwananchi. Mwananchi anaumia lakini wenyewe hawasikii.
Lakini pengine kwa kuja barabarani, mna uamuzi gani kama waandamanaji kusimama hapa katikati ya barabara ya Mombasa kuelekea Nairobi? Kule kusimama katika barabara ya Mombasa, mnatamani kufanya nini?
Sisi tunataka mabadiliko ya kiuchumi. Tulikuwa tunataka mabadiliko ya kiuchumi, lakini sasa tunataka hao watu wote ambao wametusaliti waondoke, sababu hawawezi tuongoza. You can't kill us and lead us.
You are not our leader, you are our leader.
Vijana hawana kazi, vijana wanateseka, vijana have nothing to live for. Na Ruto anaua ndugu zetu, anaua madada zetu. Hatukuwa na anything to live for, lakini sasa hivi tuko na something to die for.
Sawa, asante sana. Mwingine hapa niweze kuongea nawe kwa dakika moja peke yake, ongea kuhusu pengine kusimama hapa barabarani ya Mombasa kuelekea Nairobi. Mtazamo wenu ni gani hii leo wakati wa maandamano?
Sisi kama GenZ, sisi siku ya leo tulikuwa tumeamua, hakuna barabara tulikuwa tumeamua kufunga juu wameua GenZ wengi. Leo ni siku yetu ya kuomboleza. Tunaambiwa pole wale ambao wamepoteza maisha yao. Sisi kama GenZ tutarudi nyuma, hii vita tunapigana mpaka mwisho, mpaka kieleweke. Ruto ametuita sisi GenZ criminals, lakini sisi we are not criminals.
Naam, asante sana mtazamaji. Hiyo taarifa ya wenyeji wa hapa Voi wakisema ya kwamba wamefunga barabara kuu ya Mombasa kuelekea Nairobi kama njia moja ya kusikika. Sina la ziada. Naitwa John.
Right, that is Voi along the Mombasa-Nairobi highway, whereby agitated youth, of course, have taken to the streets to just engage in the anti-government protests that we've been experiencing in different parts of the country. Those have not been left behind as far as calling out the government and calling for the resignation of most of the members of parliament and also the president himself for what they term as betrayal.
Mafuta but huko ni nini?
Mambo. Leo umekaa? Hata leo tulie hapa kiasi. Umepata kwanza huko. Unamsema asione vile tunamwona kuna kitu kwa hapo sababu.
Sikuwa.
Tutaongea saa hii. Young people in the presence of local leaders, in the presence of parents, but the parents and local leaders do not talk. It is a discussion of young people. Let me just finish up this, and then you'll ask me. Because this guy wants to call for 100 guys. My friend.
So that he bribes them.
People from Nyawara village where I come from will not be in that table. That's the truth. And they are also demonstrating. So what are we saying? The president has to organize a meeting with Kisumu West constituency members.
This is the thing. This is
in
the
Nyawara.
The reasons as to why people are demonstrating, I'd like to believe they're uniform across board, right?
Exactly.
So what then is the point of holding a meeting in each and every region if you can just identify the youth of one particular region and say, because you're representing?
Let me just respond to this, then you come in. You are asking a good question to the wrong person. If there is no point of doing that, then whoever advised him to convene a 100 member committee ought to have known that before. The president need to have a meeting, if he wants to have a meeting, with each and every person of this country, because he is liable for towards each and every person in this country. Okay. Not 100 people collected. In fact, let me tell you, if we go through with 100 people, you will be surprised. That's what's wrong. You will be surprised that Dennis Itumbi already has the 100 guys.
No, that guy is the problem.
He has the 100 guys.
Okay. I want to release Geoffrey, but before we do that, Geoffrey, your remarks on this, on the how we should actually get to conduct this conversation, because you see, my question is, the issues that the youth want addressed cut across board. Okay. The issues that the youth of Nairobi want addressed are the same issues that the youth of Kisumu want addressed, Mombasa and all that. Is it wrong to say now, if you can pick representatives to speak on your behalf, we can actually have that particular conversation, instead of now saying, okay, go to Kisumu, go to Mombasa, go to which particular region, so that all of you get to have the same voice? Because then to some extent it's going to be repetitive. You're telling the president, I want you to fire so and so, I want you to fire so and so. This becomes a song across board.
Well, I think as much as we have uniform issues that cut across the country, we are also very much aware of the unique issues that are coming from different counties and different young people are actually pushing for. So there's so many reforms when you narrow them down to counties, and so it's very, very important that we have these regional meetings whereby young people from those very specific counties will have the opportunity to actually articulate their issues and present their demands. Okay. We know we have uniform ideas, yes, but number two, there are very specific issues in each and every county. There are very different avenues where the government can actually come in to support young people. So if you go to Kisumu, they'll have different issues from the ones in Mombasa or the ones in Turkana. People in Turkana, young people in Turkana, they do not have an ICT hub.
Okay, what will be? Are we talking about the issues affecting the region, or are the issues affecting the nation in general?
Let me just finish. Yeah. So you have folks in Turkana demanding for even access to clean water and sanitation facilities within that specific county. You come to Nairobi, we have different issues. We have
okay, I get what you're saying. We have different issues, but what has taken people to the streets? I believe that is.
Kabisa.
Wewe chega se perfect.
Wewe acha tunasikia.
Watu wengi wanafikiria hii ni live. Watu wengi wanafikiria hii ni live. Mungu onyesha.
Hii ni raba bandi.
Kaezi kwa live. Watu wanafikiria hii ni lazi.
Lakini venye inakaa
inakaa live.
Katikati kuna huko na huko.
Nafaa Kenya na askari.
Sijui sasa. Ndio huko. Man, hey, man,
imekuingia
mbaya sana. Nafaa niende nikunywe maji moto ya ndini. Chris. Au pitia hapa mbaya. Pitia njia. Unaona hii njia? Ita hivi ukiwa kwa kona usipitie katikati.
Ini moto. Mbona shangani tia gas gani? Sana mbele.
Sasa ndio kumbali babaya, hebu niweke kwa bag. Chiko niweke kwa bag. Kaka. Sina. Lakini mtu azishika hapo uzuri. Kumbe liko na maji na nateseka. Na sijui. Turudi. Huko na kule chache.
Unanimeki nini? Niko property. Sawa.
Toa neno. Ni mask neno.
Nene?
Neno. Kwa hivi na. But Larry was right. Shida yao watu inakwanga gani? Hivi vingine si media. Kitu kimeshika simu.
Wacha wapige.
Anapita watu. Hakuna sema tu hilo.
Sorry bro.
Nyumba inachomeka ama?
Ni za kushai.
Basta kimeema.
Kuna ule mwenye alikuwa ameshikwa katika kategoria fulani. Ndio akashikwa tena.
Halo, Nzioka Maingi aka Kalonzo Junior. Tuko hapa kwa streets. Tunasema Zakayo lazima ashuke. Kitu ya kwanza, Zakayo hajali maisha mwananchi wa kawaida. Tumeona hii bill wanataka kupitisha through EAC. Ile kitu kingine, Zakayo ameonyesha ana touch na ground. Ana touch na ground aje. Ule mtoto aliuliwa pale nini Rogai. Zakayo ajui kama huyo mtoto amededi. Anasema bado huyo mtoto ako alive. Mimi nataka kusema hivi. We want justice. Tunataka tukiingia kwa hizo ofisi za serikali tunapata huduma bila kutoa ongo yoyote. Alafu ile kitu kingine kwa wabunge au mapigizo wa UDA. Nataka kuambia hivi, mkule matapiko yenu. Hao wabunge wa UDA hakuna kutembea kwa hizo machurches mkituambia maneno ya sijui mchango sijui nini. Tunawaita tunawatoa kwa hizo kwa hizo vitu zenyu. Alafu nikimalizia nataka kuambia Gachagua cheza chini. Gachagua kwanza tunakuania 18. Acha kutuambia sijui NS. Wewe ulisema wewe mwenyewe unasikizana ground. Unasikizana ground. Mimi nataka kuambia Gachagua kama unasikizana ground ni wewe kwa advise president wako. Asante sana.
what is your view? What is your 1 cent view of his interview? And then we go to the topic of today, that tomorrow's demonstration. Thank you so much, Daktari. Karibu sana.
Good evening, everyone, and good afternoon for people who are in other time zones. Like yesterday, we have to express our condolences and empathy with those who have been abducted, those who have been tortured, some have been maimed, and of course, the heroes whom they have killed. We have to always remember them by name, and I believe that next time we'll have their names basically read out, so that we actually always honor them. I know that Rex is one of the people that have been honored, but there are a lot of people that have lost their lives. And I think it is important, whether they were participating in the protest or not, that we honor them. The little boy who was shot.
Doctor, maybe just an interruption. There's a few names that we have. I can read them out.
Yeah.
And then
Go
we
ahead.
proceed. So number one on the list is the doctor who was actually giving out medical services during demonstration, Dr. Margaret Oyuga. May her soul rest in peace. We have Rex Kanyeki Masai. May his soul rest in peace. We have Frank Okot, another legend. We have Nick Adams, another martyr. We have Eric Njeru, another hero. We have David Chege, Ian Kea, Belinda Acheng, Edwin Otieno, Eric Otieno, Eric Shieni, Bisley Kamau, Erickson Mutisia, Credo Oyaro, 17 years old, Emmanuel Tata, and then Ibrahim Kamau Wanjiko. This was a list that was out before the young boy was shot. Is it 8 times or 12 times? The one that the president thinks she's still alive. She's in school. I guess today she went to school, and tomorrow she'll also join us in the maandamano in Nairobi and the various sides parts of the country. So, Dr.
So
continue.
thank you,
for the
thank you, Kinsman. Let me start by saying we should stop calling Ruto president. Part of the struggle is the use of language. If we don't revolutionize our language, demystify and delegitimize oppressors, we are giving them power over us. It has to start with how we think and how we use language. Ruto lost legitimacy by the manner in which he has handled the protests. Not only did he hire goons, people who were not even police officers, and gave them guns to target protesters who are unarmed and peaceful and cause havoc in the country in all areas of Kenya. He then has gone on national TV many times and referred to them as criminals, the victims as criminals. So yesterday, what you saw, legitimacy. He then declared to all Kenyans that he doesn't get it. He's not just alienated from Kenyans. He's not just completely cold-blooded and heartless. He wants to tell Kenyans that he's proud of his killers, the snipers that they stationed in parliament and all other areas, the people who are shooting aimlessly into the crowds. He's basically daring the country, utadu. What are you going to do? And that is why tomorrow and any other day subsequent, the country must show Ruto that we own Kenya, that he doesn't own us, that having voted for him, And by the way, he did not even win the majority of Kenyans. He won the majority of the votes, 50+1, according to the IBC. That does not give you ownership over a people. The fact that you supported me does not give me power over you forever. It doesn't mean that if I turn around and abuse you, if I turn around and steal from you, if I turn around and brutalize you or brutalize your family, if I devalue your values, then you still support me. No, there is no such thing. In a democracy, we must earn support every single day. And Ruto that no longer has our support. He went on national TV in order to turn away viewers from our space, our X space, and basically refused to answer every single question that was given to him. And then turn around and denied things that are so obvious that you would wonder, is this man normal? It is no longer just a question of Ruto is cold-blooded. Ruto seems to be convinced that he's God Almighty, that there is nothing we can do to him. And so we have to get our country back. I believe, and I've said this many times, that we have to be focused. These are the things people are saying, these are the things people are doing, demanding, oh, where are you, be in the forefront, blah, blah, blah. These are NIS and Ruto's tricks. Because it doesn't really matter where we are. Our brother who spoke from Zimbabwe is in Zimbabwe, but he's giving us inspiration. He's standing with us in solidarity. Our struggle is being watched everywhere. Our struggle is giving inspiration to everybody. And we can't fail ourselves. Because what happens when we fail? Then we give Ruto basically authority and power to pick each one of you and then assassinate, disappear, torture, maim, or force into exile. So this is a collective struggle. I just want to urge everyone that we have to be united in the struggle. Because of course, if we are divided, he's going to win over us. And as I said yesterday, and I continue to say, this is an intergenerational struggle, even if led by Gen Zs and the millennials. The issues we are dealing with, the issues of impunity, the issues of corruption, the issues of abuse of power, the issues of strangulation of all institutions of governance. These are not issues that affect one generation. So the moment we allow the message that everybody else should keep quiet, that only Gen Z should speak, that the only people that are feeling the pinch is a generation called Gen Zs, we are losing it. Because even Generation Alpha, the boy who was killed in Rongai, is not a Gen Z. The other boy that was shot 8 times is not a Gen Z. And some of them were not even in the demonstration. You will be victimized whether you are there or not. A tyrannical state does not distinguish between generations. And we learned this when we were growing up. Some of us have been in this struggle since we were teenagers too, like myself. So and we never stopped struggling, regardless of the contradictions in the struggle. So that's all I want to say for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daktari, for that. And I see many people are joining the conversation. Thank you so much. And make 1 million strong tomorrow, and for securing our future or secure the country. That's the way to go. Kumbukeni.
10 million, my brother.
10 million. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Daktari. Kumbukeni, go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Miguna, honoring all who have lost their lives. I just want to emphasize on that point that you made, and it's a great point. I have been insisting, speaking on this need to ensure we don't go along with colonial language. Colonial language is very good at keeping us in boxes so that it can best control us. So they decide they're going to call us Gen Z so that they can best control us and control the narrative. We must refuse that. I agree with you. And this is a problem of Kenyans. I know my mother is suffering. When I was in Kenya, I was suffering to put food on the table. My brothers are suffering. My sisters are suffering. The children are suffering. So this is not just a Gen Z issue. The Gen Z, and even when you look at the protests, it wasn't just Gen Z on the streets. So this is something, being someone who's been in the West and seen and worked actually in their governments and seen how they operate, this is something they're very good on and very big on. They make sure they control the narrative, and we must make sure that we don't allow them to do so. Asante.
Thank you.
Maybe Hillary kidogo. Maybe just to echo on the words of Daktari. Daktari, first of all, thank you so much for your contribution. The beauty with you is that you are eloquent enough, even if you putting us into dangerous spaces, we think like we are going into safe places. So your eloquence is something that we are admiring, and it is giving us energy. So easy, we need all the energy that we can get, because the person that we are dealing with, remember, he's most important. And I want to emphasize on this. Remember, the people that voted for this president were brick and mortar. Parliament mmechoma kwa ofisi ya Sakaja, dimple zake zitakaa wapi? CJ ana ofisi. Kumbukeni, this man was voted in by brick and mortar. So tomorrow he will be dealing with robots. So we need all the energy that we can get. Daktari, thank you. Kesho tunatokea. All of us will be there in numbers. 10 million strong. 10 million. Our strength is on the numbers. Our strength is on the disorganization. That is the biggest organization in Africa. Thank you for the brothers that are supporting us from diaspora, from other parts of the continent. Thank you so much. And everyone, please keep the hashtag going. Keep it alive. Like if you can, let's follow each other. Pale pia kwa nini, and there's a post I've put for Latif. Please retweet, like it, so that even when such kind of people get an opportunity to speak to Kenyans, they feel that we are behind them. Ruto should be feeling alone. We need to seclude this person. We need to put him in a corner and put him there forever and ever as Iwai Toka. We are tired, man. So next speaker.
Thank you. Brief, go ahead. Maja, see you. Everybody, yep. We have a lot of requests, guys. Go ahead, brief.
Asante sana. Yes, I want to reiterate that point about us creating and sticking to our own narratives, using our own language. We are Africans, we are Kenyans. Let's continue to perpetuate our narratives. Let's go back to our roots in search of everything, including the solutions. Daktari, I love the fact that you point out correctly, very accurately, that this is not a new fight. We have been fighting this fight because in reality, our economy, our systems of government have never worked for us. They've never worked for us Kenyans. We were bequeathed colonial systems that were meant to work for the colonizer. And the only thing that the colonizer did is turn it over to the African elites, Mzungus in black skin, to be the guardians of the spoils of colonialism. I'll just go real quick into Machiavelli's four-point blueprint of how you demoralize and conquer and colonize a people. It's a very thin book, by the way, The Prince by Machiavelli. It's a very thin book. Everybody in here should read it because it shows you who we are dealing with in the form of Ruto. So in the blueprint, it has 4 stages. The first one is you go in with your armies and administrators, and you demoralize the population by violence and aggression. The second stage is you create an elite class. You show them that if they are brutal, if they speak English like you or whatever language like you, and they behave like you, they too can get a taste of the privilege. The third one is 1960s, 1956 Ghana, 1963 Kenya, where you hand over political control to the elite class, And the fourth stage is the most lucrative because after they withdraw their security forces and their administrators, now all they do is collect on the spoils of colonialism using the elite class that they put in place. And that's what we have. We have an elite class that are the custodians, the guardians of colonialism. So Ruto just happens to be the very unfortunate one who is sitting being the custodian. He had a choice. He had a choice not to be the custodian, and we are giving him that choice today. As Kenyans, we are saying, are you going to serve us, or are you going to continue to serve the neoliberal colonialist policies that you have been bequeathed? And again, this is not new. It's been since independence, or so-called independence, quote unquote, because we've never been independent. We are still under colonialism. We are the fourth stage of colonialism. We are not even in neo-colonialism yet. Maybe if we beat this economic colonialism, maybe they will introduce a new colonialism that we can at that point call neo-colonialism. But at this point, we are still in colonialism. So, and Kenyans are very hungry because we've got a glimpse of what it might look like if we actually had a leader who had